It just means the Yankee lineup is getting deeper. There is the 3-2, and it's outside ball 4. Good at bat by Chavez. So a 1-out walk. So tomorrow, if Grandison plays, and the word is that he will, no one's committing to anything, though. But anyway, if Grandison plays, then Chavez, Ibanez, and company will start hitting 6th. So it makes the lineup much longer. Here is Raul Ibanez. He's at .232, 15 homers and 52 RBIs. Another left-hand hitter. 1 on, 1 out, top of the second, no score. One thing I do want to add, the pitch is outside, and believe me, I'm as guilty of this, or more than guilty. I'm very dramatic on the air, because if I was a fan, I would feel the drama. Watching a game on TV, I feel the drama, and I'm able to verbalize it. Get to my stupid point in a moment. The 1-0 fastball outside. And I think someone told Susan on one of her shows, it's a big game, but you can't play the game any differently. It's a baseball game. You know, in fact, if anything, you know, you should concentrate less. You shouldn't squeeze the sawdust out of the bat. That's why sometimes people don't like the Super Bowl, because they're expecting, wow, that's just a football game. You can't play the game differently. So even though the games are important, the at-bats are important, you can't play it differently than a game on May 13th. It'll be a 2-0 to Ibanez, and the pitch is strike. In other words, you can't try harder. There's never been a batter who goes up there who didn't want to get a hit.
Well, here's the other thing. I heard one of the Tampa writers say to Joe Madden, you really need to take 2 out of 3. And his answer was?
Here's the 2-1. Outside fastball, 3-1.
Which one are we going to lose?
Right. Joe Torre used to say that to me. Oh, well, which one are they going to give us? You only need one win. Oh, good. Which one are they going to give us? So it's so silly. You have to play it batter by batter, inning by inning. And I'll get to more in a moment. Here's the 3-1. Chavez a very short lead. Pitch is low. Back-to-back walks. Now, it's simplistic, but all you Yankee fans know what I'm saying, because you've been living and dying with this all year. Yankees need a hit with men on base. I mean, I'm sorry. You can say, well, it's not that easy. Well, I know it's not that easy. But if you want to win games and get to the playoffs and win the division, you have to get hits with men on base. And no pitcher has ever wanted to give up balls hit hard. You can get killed out there. Here's the pitch to Martin. Swung on, hit hard to second. The give to short is 1, and no throw to first. In fact, the ball was dropped, but they're calling it an out. They're calling it an out. The throw by Roberts was high, and the shortstop Johnson had to reach high to get it, and he was really slid into by Ibanez. So there wasn't going to be a throw to first, and the ball was dropped, but they ruled it was taken out of the mitt.
Well, it was. Elliott Johnson got to the bag first, and then trying to transfer it to make the double play, which he couldn't do because Ibanez slid right into him. There was no way he was going to make that throw. That's when the ball came out of his glove.
If Roberts made a good throw, they could have completed it, but he threw the ball so high that Ibanez had a chance to take out the shortstop. So first and third, 2 out. Here is Ichiro. And the right-hander Shields deals. A strike. Enjoy today's game with an ice-cold Sapporo beer, Japan's original. And like Ichiro, it's a big hit. Please enjoy Sapporo beer responsibly. Shields now dips into the set. And the 2-2 is low. It's a breaking ball down low and in. And the count 3-2.
Well, so far, Shields has been good with the fastball and the change. His breaking ball that John was talking about is not getting the plate. So he's really, you have to keep throwing it, though, because you just can't throw 2 pitches out there.
He struck him out swinging. Shields got a pitch all the way in. No runs, no hits, 2 left. Now, at the end of 1.5, and the Yankees nothing, Tampa Bay nothing on the Yanks radio network driven by Jeep.
Fans come out to the stadium on Saturday, September 15th, when the Yanks take on these Rays. The first 10,000 guests, 14 and younger, will receive a limited edition Yankee Stadium exclusive tie Beanie Buddy, courtesy of DKNY. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com.
Now we go to the bottom of the second, scoreless. Here's Jeff Keppinger. He is the other guy on the Rays who has good numbers off CC. Keppinger, a right-hand hitting line drive type hitter, having an outstanding year. And pitch A, Steve Reich on the outside corner from CC at 92. And Keppinger in his first year in the American League with Tampa Bay hitting .331. 6 homers, 31 RBIs, and off the bat here, just one at bat worse than .500. He's 9 for 21. Those are the two big hitters against CC, Longoria and Keppinger. And the pitch is hit in the air to right center. On the run is Dickerson. Can't get there. It's a base hit. Little fly ball single. So Keppinger gives Tampa a good start to their second inning.
Scoreboard update sponsored by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers on the web at searchmercedes.com, your source for everything Mercedes-Benz. Cleveland and Detroit tied up one apiece as they go to the second in Detroit. Corey Kluber against Anibal Sanchez. Baltimore has taken a 1-0 lead over Toronto. Top of the second at Rogers Center. Joe Saunders going against Jay Happ. Everything else later. Texas, Kansas City. Yu Darvish against Bruce Chen. C.J. Wilson and Tommy Malone hook up as the Angels are in Oakland.
Here's Ben Francisco, a right-hand hitter, and the breaking ball is low. Francisco just got here. He's been in both the American and National Leagues. He's hitting 14 for 55 in the American League with a homer and 4 RBIs. And there's the 1-0. Swung on and grounded toward the shortstop hole and through. It's a base hit to left field. So Francisco is on a ground ball single just out of Jeter's reach. And Tampa has something going, first and second, no one out.
Boston and Seattle at 4. Clay Buchholz against Jason Vargas, and it'll be Samuel DeJuno against Hector Santiago as the Twins are visiting the White Sox. In the National League, Washington has a 1-0 lead over the Cubs, bottom of the second. Jeff Samardzija against Rod Stepweiler. Atlanta's taken a 1-0 lead over Colorado as they go to the second at Turner Field. Tyler Chatwood against Chris Medlin.
Now here's a big threat early in the game. Back-to-back singles. Neither one hard hit, but they count. Ryan Roberts is the hitter, and there's a strike. Roberts came over from Arizona. The Yankees have never faced him. With Tampa, 118 at-bats, hitting .220, 3 homers, 13 RBIs. He had .254 with Arizona with 6 home runs. Let's see if he's bunting. He looked down at his third base coach, Tom Foley, a long time. 2 on, no one out. Bottom of the second inning, no score.
Milwaukee's taken a 2-0 lead over Miami. Top of the second in Miami. Mike Fiers against Ricky Nolasco. Phillies in Cincinnati, no scores. They go to the bottom of the second.
That'll be a 2-2 to the right-hand hitter. Runners lead. And Sabathia deals a breaking ball, strike 3, and he knew it. You know, Roberts left the batter's box. When you see a breaking ball that absolutely freezes you, he just walked right away.
And that was CC's slider, a good one, and he did. He knew as soon as it was coming at him, there was no one who was going to hit that. He was not prepared for it.
You know, on your scoreboard, you read something which interested me.
Mm-hmm.
Not very good for baseball. There's no game in New York on Labor Day. The Mets are at the Cardinals. The Yankees are away and the Mets are away. Isn't that odd?
It is odd. It is odd.
Well, here is the catcher, Chris Jimenez. The Yankees have seen him before with Cleveland. First and second, one man out. And the pitch is a strike. Jimenez is 14 for 69. No homers, 4 RBIs. And he is catching, I guess, because Molina is something like 0 for 15 against CC. So they catch Jimenez today. They have a switch hitting catcher, Jose Lobaton, probably play against the righties. And it'll be an 0-1 to Jimenez. Sabathia looking, and now he bluffs towards second. Neither Keppinger nor Francisco steal. And since Keppinger is the lead runner, he doesn't steal at all. And so Francisco can't go anywhere. And it'll be an 0-1 to the right-hand hitting Jimenez. And the pitch, foul back in the count, 0-2. There used to be a tradition when Ms. Waldman and myself were a little younger. All baseball teams on Decoration Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day played doubleheaders.
That's right. That's right. Now the teams aren't even there.
No. I kind of miss that. I think that's a great thing. They can't do it because teams, they draw so much, they want to play individual dates. And teams like Philly, Boston, New York, Detroit, Texas, L.A., San Francisco, they draw so many people. Where are they going to put everyone? There'll be an 0-2. They'll pitch a fastball high. If you play a doubleheader, they need individual dates.
Right, and 45,000 people, would get to see 2 games. You missed that whole gate. But I do think someone should have been in New York. Wasn't there? I believe there was 1 year that no one was there on July 4th. I know the Yankees were in Toronto on July 4th, which I thought was very peculiar.
It'll be a 1-2 to Jimenez. Clevenger off second, Francisco off first, 1 out. And the pitch is inside. Slider, a cutter, went all the way in. Now the count 2-2 on Jimenez. The shortstop, Elliot Johnson, on deck.
CeCe trying to establish a breaking pitch. You heard Joe Girardi talk about his sinker, how that was the key to everything. I haven't seen much of it, just that straight fastball and a slider so far.
Here's the 2-2. Swung on and line to right field. It is a base hit. Scoring is Clevenger. Francisco holds at second. A little looping liner. Very weak hit. 3 weak hits have produced a run, and Tampa Bay takes a 1-0 lead.
And that's how they play, except when they pummeled out 17 hits yesterday. That's how they play. Breaking pitch that stayed up. It was on the outside part of the plate. Didn't get good part of the bat on it. Got it almost down by the handle. You could hear it. But enough to get it over the head of Robbie Cano and into right field, right center field.
Hey, what are you going to do? That's baseball. That 3 of the softest hits you've ever seen. And Tampa has a 1-0 lead. And they have first and second, 1 out. Here's the switch hitting shortstop, Elliot Johnson. And he fouls at first base out of play. Nothing you can do about it. One was softer than the other. The first, a bloop by Kessinger to left center. Then a ground ball toward the shortstop hole, a bouncer. And then that little bloop, that was the weakest of all by Jimenez, who gets his 5th RBI, and Tampa takes a 1-0 lead. Johnson is at 246, 5 homers, 31 RBIs. The pitch is fouled off. However, like Zobrist was hitting 25 points higher as a right-hand hitter, Elliot Johnson's hitting 163 as a right-hand hitter. And he won the job. He was a bench player, and no one hit. And they played a lot of people there, Brignac and Sean Rodriguez. He won the job. He has hit as a left-hand hitter. You get a lot more bats as a lefty hitter than a righty hitter. He steals bases, and he plays shortstop okay, so he's the regular. There'll be an 0-2. Runners lead first and second, 1 out. 1-0 Tampa, bottom of the second. And Sabathia deals a high pop foul, first base out of play. So the count holds at 0-2.
And Sean Rodriguez did what he said was the stupidest thing he's ever done in his life. He was set down to Durham for it was going to be there till September 1st because he wasn't hitting at all, and they were trying to get some offense in here. And he punched a wall down in Durham and broke his hand.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Outside.
That really is. At least find something soft to if you're going to punch. Get your aggression out. And it'll be an 0-2. Swung on, a pop-up off first. And it's not high enough to be caught. Swisher slides into the near stands. It bounced right in front of the near stands. Now the count holds 0-2.
I'm not sure I've ever understood that punching something. You make your living with your body. Don't you know that if you punch a wall, that's taking a part of your body away?
Well, I agree with you. And I told Kevin Brown that just the other day,
right.
too.
And AJ. Remember when AJ tore up his hand hitting the wall board on the door?
It is nutty. I agree. And there's the 0-2. Hit hard. Pugate stopped by Chavez. Goes to second, 1 on to first, not in time. But Chavez save a double and at least 1 run, if not 2. That was a great backhand stop behind third by Chavez. So it's a 5-4 force, and they're a 2-way. Here is Desmond Jennings.
Chavez is always makes this so smooth. To watch him is so great. Backhands it, turns around, sets himself. He has the time to set himself, so the throw is perfect. But Johnson just too fast.
Well, that was some play by Chavez. Think what that saved. The ball's down the left field line, at least one run, and second and third, or 2 runs and a runner at second. So here, Sabathia needs an out to get out of the inning with 1 run, and here is Desmond Jennings, who singled to left his first time. And Sabathia deals high on the count 1-0. You know, you can't try to hit softly, unless you're Ichiro and you're manipulating the bat. Most guys take a swing, and if they miss-hit it, you know, they get lucky and the ball drops in. But it's worked out for Tampa Bay. They have 3 soft hits for a run and have a lead. It'll be a 1-0 to Jennings. And the pitch high. And if you want to look at it, the Yankees had 2 walks in the top of the inning with 1 out and didn't get the hit. You know, eventually, you have to get a hit with men on base to score runs. It'll be a 2-0 to Jennings. B.J. Upton is on deck. Runners lead first and third. Sabathia deals. Swung on. A high fly to left and deep. Ibanez back on the track, and he makes the catch halfway on the track to end the inning. 1 run, 3 hits, 2 left. Now the end of 2. It's 1-0 Tampa on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep.
Hi, this is CC Sabathia. Keep the radio set to WCBS 880.
We go to the top of the third, 1-0 Tampa Bay. Are you planning ahead for senior living? Well, I've been to Riverwalk at the Hebrew Home in Riverdale. It's terrific, like a Northeast College campus on the banks of the Hudson. They have an extensive senior lifestyle and magnificent rooms, something out of a first-class hotel. Call 800-56-SENIOR or visit HebrewHome.org. Chris Dickerson fouls the first pitch off. Dickerson, very much like Jurickson Profar, had a first at bat as a Yankee and did a 2-run home run in the right field seats. Chris also drew a walk and scored a run. He 1-for-1 with a homer, 2 RBIs. He had a truncated year in the minor leagues. The 0-1, there's a strike, a left-hander. He missed 2 months with an oblique. He had a good year at Scranton. He had .316, 7 homers, 25 RBIs. He's filling in for Granderson, and the 0-2 is tapped weakly foul at the first baseline, so the count holds at 0-2.
I think more importantly was what he did defensively, which was amazing. Take that home run away from Adam Jones yesterday. Tremendous play by Dickerson.
And he put his glove right over the bullpen wall and made the catch. It won't be remembered because the Yankees lost the game, but if they had won the game, it'd be remembered. The 0-2 swung on and tapped weakly to second, and Roberts throws out Dickerson, 1 away.
Now what he did is something that John's been talking about. He just tried to pull a changeup, and that's the pitch. If you recognize it, you have to go the opposite way with it. He just tried to pull it, and when that happens, you just turn the wrists over, goes easily to the right side of the infield.
1 away. Here's Derek Jeter. Hit the ball hard his first time. Lined out down the right field line to Francisco. Yankees have a big road trip. I don't know how you could not say it. I don't care if players want to poo-poo it. They don't inside their own minds and heart and soul, or the manager. I mean, they're playing 3 here against Tampa and then 4 in Baltimore. Those are 7 playoff games. Pitch. Swung on, hit on the ground to short. Elliott Johnson throws out Jeter, 2 away.
Well, now he's switching up, going with that fastball and change, and Jeter's shaking his head, and he didn't recognize that. Got on top of it, could just ground it to shortstop.
Well, that's good for Shields, too, because he's had very few pitches in the inning. He probably has thrown 3 pitches this inning. I think Dickerson was 1-1 before his ground out. Well, before pitches. My math is lousy. Here is Swisher. He struck out his first time. Tampa has a 1-0 lead. And we're in the top of the third. 2 outs, no one on. And the pitch to Swisher. There's a strike on the outside corner.
Curveball by Jamie Shields. Now he's starting to get that over. Gives him 3 pitches that have been working.
There's the 0-1. On the pitch low on the count 1-1. Now Swisher backs out. The outfield is perfectly straight away. And in the infield, only the shortstop, Elliott Johnson, is pulled over just a little bit towards second for a left-hand hitter. And here's the 1-1. Swung on, pop foul, third base side out of play. What Shields does, I mean, it's very basic, is he changes speeds. Nothing is overpowering. It's a good fastball. Now he throws a cutter as well. Fastball moves in on a left-hand hitter. And he throws a curveball. And he throws a lot of changeups. Changeup probably his best pitch. The 1-2 is foul back. So the count holds at 1-2. But if you change speeds on your pitches and you avoid the middle, now he throws strikes. He doesn't walk a lot of people. Averages 2.5 walks per 9. He's a good pitcher. Not a great pitcher, but he's a good pitcher.
And he's gotten better as the season's gone on. He's lost to the Yankees twice this year in 3 games.
The 1-2 is low on the count 2-2. David Price pitched yesterday. He won his 17th, so the Yankees miss him. They get Shields and a rookie right-hander, Alex Cobb, and then the rookie left-hander, Matt Moore. They have a very good pitching staff and good staff in the bullpen as well, which is how they survive. The 2-2, a high chopper to second. Roberts fields, throws. The inning is over on 3 ground balls. 3 up, 3 down at the end of 2.5. 1-0 Tampa on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep. Now we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's a 1-0 Tampa lead. Here's B.J. Upton to lead it off, a right-hand hitter. And Sabathia deals caught on and missed it. On the count 0-1. When Swisher grounded out to second to end the top of the 3rd. That was the 15th out of the game, and Geico reminds you that 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. More on Geico in just a moment. Here's the 0-1. The pitch is outside fastball. The count 1-1. Well, call Geico at 1-800-947-AUTO or visit them at geico.com. Upton, Zobrist, Longoria. Big hitters coming up for the Rays, and there's a high fastball. Now the count 2-1.
Lots of talk about maybe B.J. Upton being traded before the deadline. It never happened. Upton, actually, 16 home runs. That's as many as Carlos Pena. He's having an off year. But B.J. Upton should be hitting more than 240.
Yeah, and he hasn't all these years. That's the one thing that's held him back from being a big star. The 2-1. Swung on and drilled to deep left center field. That ball's in the gap, and it is gone. It's in the gap, all right. Went over the left center field wall. A home run for B.J. Upton, and Tampa takes a 2-0 lead.
Well, now he has the lead for homers for Tampa Bay. He's just passed Carlos Pena. Homer number 17 for B.J. Upton. Well, let's see where this pitch was. Martin setting up on the outside. Went right back over the middle of the plate. It was about thigh high, right over the middle of the plate. 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
Hey, Upton has tremendous power, and he's a tremendous center fielder. Speed, glove, arm, steals bases. The only thing that's held him back is doesn't hit a lot. But he just hammered one over the left center field wall. Here is Ben Zobrist. And the breaking ball is inside. The count 1-0. So Tampa now takes a 2-0 lead.
Right. Oh, we just saw that again. Right down the middle of the plate.
There's the 1-0. A high pop in back of second. Cano out, Dickerson in. Who's going to catch it? Dickerson at the last minute called off Cano to make the grab. And there's one away. 10-second station ID on the New York Yankees radio network.
With reporters throughout.
John Sterling, Susan Waldman back at Tropicana. Now the Rays grabbed the 2-0 lead. Here's Longoria lined out to Jeter his first time. 1 out, no one on, bottom of the third, and the pitch is outside. Upton's 17th home run, and he has 61 RBIs. You know, they're good stats, but they're not great stats. And let's face it, baseball thought he and his brother would have great stats. Yep. They're both very talented. Here's the 1-0. Hit on the ground, base hit. Between short and second. Left center field. Ibanez fields and throws in. So Longoria, who hits CC exceptionally well, bangs a single. He's hit the ball hard twice. And a runner at first with 1 out. And here's Jeff Keppinger.
And once again, it's the same pitch. Same pitch that Upton hit. Came right back over the middle of the plate. Now Longoria has only been back less than a month. He came back on August 7th, so a month on Friday since he's been back. And he really squared up that ball. Ball starting outside, just went right to the middle of the plate.
Keppinger hit that bloop single to center and later scored the first Tampa run. Yanks in trouble. They're really in trouble. They can't fall too much further behind because not hitting great. And Tampa pitches great, and the pitch is strike to Keppinger. You know, you told me something that I didn't realize.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't it seem to you like A-Rod was out much longer than July 25th to, September 3rd or 4th?
Right, I thought it was 2 months. It's like a month and a half. Still seemed a very long time without him there.
The 0-1, a high pop in shallow right. Cano out calling, and Robbie makes the catch. And there are 2 July, it's probably a month and 10 days. I thought it was much longer than that.
Well, it just seemed that way, because without him in the middle of that lineup, and it's not that he was having the year of his life. It's just without him there's no solid cleanup hitter every day, and mixing and matching is, works for a while, doesn't work over the long haul.
And before people worry about they've missed a couple of days, it's only September 2nd. You know, when you travel a lot and you have a mind like mine, you just kind of round things off. It's about. Well, 2-way, and the pitch to Francisco is low inside, the count 1-0.
Well, this is also the time of the year that you'll come downstairs to make the bus, and guys will say to you, I woke up this morning and I start and had no idea where I was for a minute.
That happens a lot to me,
yeah.
Yes. That'll be a 1-0 to the right-hand hitting Francisco, and he dribbles one, third base side of the mound. Sabathia fields and fires in time, and that'll do it. But 1 run on the Upton home run. 1 run on 2 hits, 1 left. Now the end of 3. It's 2-0 Tampa on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep. Well, we go to the 4th inning. Yankees are trailing 2-0. Today's game presented by your local tri-state area Audi dealers. Visit your nearest Audi dealer now during the summer of Audi event. Middle of the Yankee order, Cano, A-Rod, Chavez. Yankees without a hit in the first 3 innings. They did get 2 walks. They had a chance. Chavez a 1-out walk, then a Ibanez walk. The Yankees didn't get the hit. Now they trail 2-0 here in the 4th. Cano grounded out his first time. And the pitch, fastball strike. Was at 93. So Shields can get it up there. And here's the 0-1 to Robbie. Line hard, base hit over first. Down the right field line. Rolling to the right field corner. It's extra bases. Cano heads towards second. The throw is late. And Cano has a lead-off double. Now, Susan Waldman, the Yankees, have to move him and score a run, get back in the game. I think they have to. Now, Cano rips a double. He has great numbers off Shields. I mentioned that before. Well, here's A-Rod, who a little bloop to the second baseman his first time. Now let's see if A-Rod, the Yankees would love him to hit the ball in the left field seats and tie the game. Well, let's see if he can get the ball to the right side and get Cano to third. Shields holds the set. And the pitch is inside. There's a fastball tailing in, probably 2-2. And the count 1-0. 93.
Oh, they'll stay in on Alex so that he can't do that. Not good with an inside-out swing like Jeter has. If the ball is away, he could do that.
Well, it'll be a 1-0. And A-Rod backs out. But anyway, there's a leadoff double, and if you're down 2-0 and it's ultra important game, you got to move the runner. The pitch, caught on him, and the count 1-1.
In the middle of the lineup, you know that Joe Girardi's going for the 2-run home run here. Well, this is not a move the runner along. Part of the lineup.
No, but if you don't have a good swing and drive the ball, then you got to give yourself hit the ball to the right side.
I agree with you.
No, it doesn't mean I don't want him to get a hit. The 0-1-1 is a breaking ball low on the count 2-1. At some point when you get someone on base, you got to get a hit. If you don't, you're going to lose the game.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, you have to.
The other thing is Alex is really having rehab right here at the major league level.
He is indeed.
So actually he probably doesn't have that. And watch, I'll hit one here. But so it would be a good time to move the runner.
It'll be a 2-1 to A-Rod. Cano leads off second with no one out. And the pitch swung on and hit right up the middle. And it goes to center field for a base hit. Cano goes to third. He had to wait for the ball to go through. It was hit so slowly, but in the right spot, that it got through. But Cano was at second base. I don't blame him. He can't get thrown out there. So the ball rolled to the outfield, then Cano went to third. So the Yankees now have first and third and no one out. That's one of the most unusual singles I've ever seen.
Well, give Alex some credit. He tried to do that. He absolutely, and unfortunately for him, the ball wasn't over the second base bag. It was towards the shortstop hole, so Robbie would have run into the ball. And he ran back towards second instead of towards third.
So first and third and no one out for Chavez, Ibanez, and Martin. And the Yankees had their first threat of the game. And Shields deals, swung on and ripped to left field. That is going to be caught on a leap. Cano comes home and scores. The throw goes to second. Desmond Jennings came in and the ball took off like a 2-iron. And he made a leap to make the catch. So it becomes a sac fly and an RBI for Chavez. And the Yankees trail 2-1. And this is the rally moment of the game. It's sponsored by Rally BMW, located at 1 Brush Hollow Road in Westbury, or online at rallybmw.com. BMW makes the cars. Rally makes the difference. Good job hitting by Chavez. Goes the opposite way. And if the Yankees were luckier, that ball would have soared over Jennings' head. But when he jumped, he couldn't make a throw home, so Cano scored easily. So the Yankees get a run back and trail 2-1. That's the 33rd RBI for Chavez, and here is Raul Ibanez. And a throw to first. You know how we kid Susan about Epley and Rapata, being partners in crime and such. Well, so are Chavez and Ibanez. They're together in the lineup.
Yes.
It'll be an 0-1 to Ibanez. And the pitch cut on him, missed, and the count is 0-1. Did I miss a pitch? Or think I saw a pitch?
No.
Yeah, it is 0-1.
0-1.
Ibanez walked his first time. A-Rod at first base. He is the tying run. And Ibanez the go-ahead run. And the pitch is outside. And the count 1-1. This is baseball. A-Rod hit the ball like he hit it with a rolled-up newspaper. He hit it so agonizingly slow, but in the right place over second. Chavez hit the ball as hard as you can hit it. He's out, and A-Rod had a base hit. And
Chavez was standing there just staring at where the ball was. I think he thought it was going to drop in front of Jennings and then took off.
Now there's the 1-1. Breaking ball inside, and the count 2-1.
And this is a good time. Jamie Shields will usually have one of these innings, and Joe Girardi will say you got to score when he's having one of his off innings. He's a very good pitcher. Get him now, because then before he puts it back together. Easy from up here, I know.
There'll be a 2-1 to Ibanez. A-Rod off first with 1 out. And the pitch swung on and line to right center field. It is a diving try by Francisco. Didn't make the catch. It rolls back to the wall. A-Rod rounds third. He'll score. All the way to third is Ibanez. It is a triple for Raul Ibanez to tie the game at 2. A-Rod had a long run from first and scored. He's safely in the dugout, and Ibanez safely at third as Francisco missed the diving catch on a bullet line drive by Ibanez. Well, being safe is good. Being safe and secure even better. New York Life Insurance Company can help ensure loved ones will always be taken care of. Find out more at NewYorkLife.com.
Now, you know what? I was watching B.J. Upton also. The center fielder, he didn't move very fast. That's one of the things that teams don't like about B.J. Upton. You've got to get over there because you see that your right fielder's going to dive for that ball. You've got to be there to back him up.
No, the infield is up to cut off the run. Ibanez at third. Here's Russell Martin. And the Yankees can take the lead with a fly ball. And the pitch is in the dirt, blocked beautifully by Jimenez. Well, that was a hard line drive. Francisco made the dive and missed it. And Susan's right. There was no one to back him up, so the ball went to the wall. Ibanez, who doesn't run well, had a triple.
I mean, Upton sort of ran. He didn't run the way B.J. Upton can run.
The 53rd RBI for Ibanez. And the ball game is tied at 2. And here's a chance for the lead. It'll be a 1-0 to Martin. And the pitch is low on the count, 2-0. I know that Martin's batting average tells you he's having a terrible year with the bat. He really is hitting the ball better. I mean, I know it's not enough when a guy is hitting 195. Hit the ball hard his first time, for example. And it'll be a 2-0. Hit on the ground off Shields, and Ibanez didn't go. Martin slides to first. He's safe, and here comes Ibanez. The ball was hit off Shields. It misdirected to the first baseman, Keppinger. Martin beat Keppinger, and when Keppinger was racing to the bag, Ibanez leapt and scored. Heads up base running by Ibanez and also by Martin. A ribby single for Russell, and the Yankees take a 3-2 lead.
Keppinger tried to slide in when he saw that he actually looked Ibanez back, but you hold on to the ball there. Now you've got men on first and you got a run scored. Keppinger looked at Ibanez. He stopped running. Then when he ran to the bag, Ibanez came home.
And Martin actually slid to get to the bag. So Martin's 37th RBI. Here's Ichiro and a throw to first. Now that ball was hit hard by Martin. He hit it up the middle. He did everything right. Just happened to hit Shields and glanced over between first and second. In other words, that should have been a base hit to center field, but it happened to strike Shields on the way through. Now the Yankees have put their heads together. They have a 3-2 lead. Here's Ichiro, 1-on-1 out, a throw over, and Martin is back. Cano ripped a double. Chavez ripped a line drive caught in left. Ibanez ripped the triple to right center, and Martin did the same thing on a single. Now, A-Rod obviously hit the ball very weakly, worked out, but the Yankees have hit the ball hard several times in the inning off Shields, and they take a 3-2 lead.
Well, and they've had some hard hit balls. Jeter's line drive to right in the first inning was hit very hard.
Martin leads, and the pitch, Ichiro swings and misses, and the count 0-1. So a double, a triple, 2 singles, a sac fly, and the Yankees have a 3-2 lead here in the 4th. Martin leads off first with 1 out, and the 0-1 up high, and the count 1-1.
Better keep scoring, guys. Baltimore's just taken a 3-0 lead over Toronto. They're not going to go away, the Orioles.
It'll be a 1-1 to Ichiro. Martin has a good lead at first. Pitch, foul back. And the count 1-2. Shields holds a set neck high and deals foul back by Ichiro to the screen. Now the count holds at 1-2.
2013 Yankee season tickets are now on sale. Reserve your seats for the 2013 season and get the opportunity to purchase the same seats for the 2012 postseason. Call 212-YANKEES or email seasontickets@yankees.com.
Now once again it'll be a 1-2. And Shields deals. Cut on a miss. Martin is going. No one covered. Isn't that funny? So it's a stolen base for Martin. You know, I wondered when the strikeout, that's second time, by the way, Ichiro's been struck out. And I wondered, Susan, why isn't Jimenez throwing? Then I looked up. No one was covering the bag. So they didn't want him to get out of position in case Ichiro poked a ground ball. So Martin steals, and the Yankees thusly have a runner at second with 2 out. Here's Chris Dickerson, who grounded out his first time. But however, that stolen base puts a guy in scoring position. Martin has stolen 5 out of 5 this year. Now the right-hander Shields to the left-hand hitting Dickerson, and the pitch is low on the count 1-0. Yankees have scored 3 times. They have a 3-2 lead here in the 4th. Now Shields motions to his catcher Jimenez go through the signs. They change the signs with the guy at second. It'll be a 1-0 to Dickerson. Outfield, infield straight away, and the pitch. There's a strike in the count 1-1. Dickerson grounded to second his first time. Yankees have high hopes. I'm not going to sing that Granderson will be in center field tomorrow. Make their lineup a little longer. And there's the 1-1. And that changed low outside, and the count 2-1 on Dickerson.
You know, I wonder whether Granderson, he'd play 2 games on this turf. It is a leg injury. You know, tendon right above where the hamstring goes into the upper part of that hamstring.
That'll be a 2-1 to Dickerson. And the fastball is outside, and the count 3-1. Jeter's on deck. Now the right-hander's 3-1. There's strike at the knees on the outside. Very good pitch, and the count 3-2. He threw a fastball, but boy, he, as they say, located at the knees on the outside.
Dickerson was ready to throw the bat away. He thought it was outside.
And Martin has to play it safe. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, but he's at second. And Shields deals. Strike 3, inning over. For the Yankees, they get 3 runs on 4 hits and leave 1. And now at the end of 3.5, 3-2 Yanks on the New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. Every fan remembers their first Yankee game, just like you'll always remember your first bite of Taco Bell's Nacho Cheese Dorito Locos Tacos. It's a crunchy taco supreme wrapped in a shell made of nacho cheese Doritos. And it's only at Taco Bell. Well, Sabathia has been given a lead, a slim one, 3-2, bottom of the 4th. Ryan Roberts, a right-hander, leads off and takes a breaking ball strike. He struck out on a breaking ball, looking his first time. Bottom 3rd, Roberts, Jimenez, Elliott Johnson, they're all right-hand hitters against CC. The whole lineup, right-hand hitters against CC. And here's the 0-1. Another breaking ball, this one low and in the count 1-1.
Scoreboard update sponsored by WestJet. With low fares from New York's LaGuardia to Toronto, book your flight at WestJet.com. American League, Cleveland has a 2-1 lead over Detroit, bottom of the fourth at Comerica.
And here's the 1-1. Well, the fastball high on the count, 2-1 to Roberts.
Corey Kluber and Anibal Sanchez in that one. Baltimore's taken a 3-0 lead over Toronto. Top of the fifth in Toronto, Joe Saunders against Jay Happ. No score, Texas at Kansas City. They're in the top of the second. Yu Darvish against Bruce Chen. Angels in Oakland start at 4.
There's the 2-1. It's grounded weakly to short. Jeter has to hustle to field and fire. Got him. 1 away.
Boston's at Seattle at 4. Clay Buchholz against Jason Vargas and Samuel Deduno against Hector Santiago as the Twins are in Chicago to play the White Sox. Adam LaRoche's 25th homer of the year has put Washington ahead of the Cubs 1-0 top of the fifth at Nationals Park. Jeff Samardzija against Ross Detweiler. Atlanta's put up a 6 spot. It is 6-0 Atlanta over Colorado. Chris Medlin going for Atlanta. Tyler Chatwood started for Colorado.
Well, in the game that Atlanta won yesterday, they're down 7-3 going to the ninth, and they score 5 runs, the last 3 on a chipper 3-run home run off Papelbon. What a game, huh?
Wow.
The pitch is a strike to Jimenez. I mean, if you're in a battle for a playoff or a division, they're more in the playoff battle. They're 7 behind Washington, but what a win.
Wow. Yep.
There'll be an 0-1 to Jimenez.
Milwaukee has a 2-1 lead over Miami, bottom of the fourth in Miami. Mike Fierce against Ricky Nolasco.
The 0-1 is low in the count 1-1.
Carlos Gomez, his 16th homer of the year. Jay Bruce just hit his 30th, and Cincinnati's taken a 1-0 lead over the Phillies. They're in the top of the fifth. Tyler Cloyd going for Philadelphia. Johnny Cueto for the Reds.
There'll be a 1-1. Jimenez, tall right-hand hitter, singled and knocked in a run his first time. And the pitch is pop foul, first base side out of play. On the count 1-2.
Houston has a 2-0 lead over the Pirates, bottom of the third in Pittsburgh. Edgar Gonzalez against Jeff Locke. Mets in St. Louis just underway. Colin McHugh against Joe Kelly. 4 o'clock start for Arizona at San Francisco. Patrick Corbin against Barry Zito. And Andrew Werner and Joe Blanton hook up as San Diego plays the Dodgers tonight.
In case you're wondering, Chris Jimenez came up to Cleveland, and everyone thought his name was Jimenez, and they asked him. He said, no, I pronounce it Jimenez. That's why it's with a G. There is the 1-2. Just missed outside. And the count 2-2 on the Tampa catcher. 1 out, no one on. We're in the bottom of the fourth. The Yankees have a 3-2 lead. You know, one thing, if I didn't mention it, I'm sure I did, but if I didn't mention it, the American League has something going. I'll mention it right after the 2-2. Swung on a pop-up to shallow left center. Dickerson moves over to make the catch. And they're 2-8. In the American League East, the Yankees lead Baltimore by 2 and Tampa by 4. In the American League Central, Chicago and Detroit are in a flat tie. And in the American League West, Texas leads Oakland by 3. So not only are there 3 pennant races in the 3 divisions, but if you count up the teams, that's 7 teams. So half of the 14 teams in the league are involved in first place and playoff races. Well, that's pretty good. Now 2-8, here's Elliott Johnson. Switch hitting shortstop, and he lines one fair down the right field line into the right field corner. Be a double for Johnson as he speeds towards second. Ichiro fires in. That's why all the numbers we give you, and I give them to you because it's part of baseball, but all the numbers we give you are nonsense. This guy, Elliott Johnson, as a right-hand hitter, was hitting 163. But he got a pitch away. He was able to extend the arms. He went with it, hit a double down the right field line. So that's why the numbers don't compute. It really depends, well, where is the ball? So, yeah, if you make good pitches, he's a 163 hitter. So there's a tying run at second with 2 out. And here is Desmond Jennings, a right-hand hitter. He's 1 for 2. Well, the tying run leads off second, and the pitch, a breaking ball, is high. Now the count 1-0.
You know what Buck Showalter said yesterday about stats? We were talking about stats, and he said he uses them sometimes. He said he doesn't like everybody doing everything because of stats. He uses his gut, and then we'll use the stats to back up what he feels.
I would agree with that. It'll be a 1-0. And the pitch is high. So you give the numbers to give you a little information, but that's all it is. It's not mathematical. And if Sabathia gets the wrong pitch to a guy like Elliott Johnson, he's going to hit it.
Major league hitter.
So it'll be a 2-0 to Jennings with the tying run at second, Johnson, and 2 out here in the bottom of the fourth. The Yanks have a 3-2 lead. Now Sabathia behind 2-0. And the pitch is hit on the ground. Right back to Sabathia, who will flip to first, and that ends the inning. The ball was hit hard, but right back to CC. You can't predict the game, and that's why it's such a great game. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. At the end of 4, 3-2 Yanks on the New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. Yankee fans. Now we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Yankees have a 3-2 lead. Being the 5th inning, it's the Daily News 5th. Sponsored by the Daily News, New York's hometown everything. We're joined in the booth by Mark Feinsand of the Daily News. Yanks have a 3-2 lead as we hit the bottom of the 5th. 2, 3, and 4 up for the Rays. Here's B.J. Upton. He takes outside. Upton popped up and then homered to left center field. Well, my first question to you, Mr. Feinsand.
Yes.
As CC delivers the 1-0. Caught on a miss late on a fastball. You know, I couldn't believe it when Susan told me that A-Rod has been out since July 25th. That's, basically a month and a week, 5 weeks or so, maybe a little more. I thought it would seem like 2 months.
Yeah, it's Seattle seems like it was a long time ago, but 5 weeks is about right, and they've missed him.
They have missed him. The 1-1 is high in the count 2-1.
One of the things I loved what he said today. What did he say? I'm not here to save the day. I'm here to be part of a winning team, which is a good way to come in here.
Yeah, well, he knows he can't do it by himself. They need contributions up and down, but he certainly helps lengthen that lineup a little bit and add another bat in there.
There's the 2-1, and the pitch is high in the count 3-1. And although he hasn't hit the ball hard, one of them worked out, so he should be back in the swing of things. And if he only has to play in the field a couple of times a week, that probably is even better for him. It'll be a 3-1 to Upton. And Sabathia deals outside. Now, that's the wrong guy to put up. Upton has stolen 26 out of 32. And now you have the 3 good hitters, Zobrist, Longoria, and Keppinger.
I know, Mark, we're looking at CeCe, and everybody just gives him the ace label, which he's supposed to be. He's going to have 7 hits to this Tampa Bay Rays team, which does not hit at all. I know the Yankees are ahead, but this is not the dominating performance that you'd like.
No, but it's also not getting hit hard. You look at that first run he gave up, it was 2 bloops and a little bleed ground ball. He's not getting hit hard, but he is giving up hits, and he certainly needs to shut them down here and hold on to this lead now that he's been given one.
Zobrist 0 for 2, a switcher to batting right, and the pitch hammered foul outside of third. The funny thing about that inning, he gave up 3 of the weakest hits ever for the first run, and then Chavez made a tremendous play on a hot shot.
I mean, we've seen CeCe go out there and get hammered around the park. We've seen guys hit the ball hard, extra base hits, etc. That's not happening today, except for the home run, obviously. But now that they've taken him off the hook, they gave them a 2-0 deficit. They gave him a 3-2 lead, and now he's got to go out there and show why he does have that ace label, Susan. And this is one of those games that the Yankees need him to pitch 7 or 8 innings and keep them right here.
They'll take 7 and set it up for Robertson and Soriano. It'll be an 0-1. Zobrist lines up, base hit to left field. The holding at second now is Upton, and Tampa Bay has it going near in the 5th inning. They have first and second, no one out. And they have their two best hitters coming up, Longoria and Keppinger.
You know what, Mark? You're in that. We're both in that clubhouse every single day. What is your sense of how everybody is feeling in there? I mean, I know to us it's an outward sense of calm, but
I really think it is an outward sense of calm, and I think that's what they're feeling. I don't think they're not, whether they're feeling it internally or not, I can't tell you. None of us can say that for sure. But they're treating it much like they did the 21-21 start, where they're saying, look, we're a veteran team. We have the talent here. We just have to go out and play to our capabilities, which they haven't done for the past 4 or 5 weeks.
Sabathia deals a breaking ball strike. I'm glad you said that, Mark. I've never been able to tell the tenor of a clubhouse, nor have I believed it. You know, people say the right things, but they don't mean them. And, you know, I think if the Yankees inside were panicking, they wouldn't say we're panicking. They'd say, oh, we're going to be okay.
Well, people always talk about this, you know, a team having a sense of urgency. How exactly do you show that? How do you see that?
It'll be an 0-1 to Longoria, runner's lead, and Sabathia bluffs towards second.
You know, do you want guys to be jumpy? Do you want them to be out there going, man, we got to go win this today, and this is the biggest game of the year, and if we don't win this, we're in real trouble? They're not going to say that. They're not going to, you know, they're a veteran team. They've all been through these kinds of things before.
Now, there go the runners. Double steal. Martin drops the ball. Double steal. Second and third. No one out.
And there's Joe Madden baseball right there. And I think it caught Martin by surprise, wouldn't you think, because he dropped the ball there. DJ up to his 27th steal.
He's 27 out of 33. Zobrist is 14 out of 23. And it'll be an 0-2 to Longoria. The runners now leave second and third, no one out. And the pitch is a breaking ball down and in. And the count 1-2.
You know, John, we've talked about it 100 times that when a team's not hitting and not playing well, they look flat. And people then say, well, they don't, you know, not playing with urgency, they don't care. You know, they get a game where they score 8 runs, all of a sudden they'll look a whole lot better. Whether we'll see that game is another question.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I can never see it in the clubhouse. I don't believe a lot, one way or the other. Here's the 1-2. Swung on, hit on the ground is short. Jeter thought about coming home but throws to first in time. So Upton scores, give Longoria an RBI, and the game is tied at 3.
You know, Mark, what I was hoping to see when Alex came back. Now, Alex doesn't have to come back and be, you know, and hit 4 hits a game and 3 home runs a game. When the day Longoria came back into this clubhouse, just his presence there, they started winning. That's when this took off.
And he wasn't hitting either.
No, that's my point.
Absolutely.
He still really isn't.
You know, I think the frustrating thing for Alex was for the 10 or 12 days before he broke his hand, he was starting to hit. I think he was hitting about 340 or 350 over those days, and started to get a little of that swagger back at the plate. And so the injury came at a very inopportune time for him.
Here's Keppinger. He is singled and popped up. The go-ahead run at second with 1 out, and the pitch outside. One of my favorite stories, Mark, on all this is when the Mets lost on the last day of the year several years ago, and they got knocked out of the playoffs. Tommy Glavine had a terrible first inning. He got knocked out. I mean, here's a Hall of Fame pitcher who's won 300 games. There's the 1-0. And it's low. And he was asked, well, was it devastating? And Glavine said, well, I wouldn't say devastating. It was disappointing. Well, I guarantee you, the Mets front office and the Mets fans, it was devastating.
No
it wasn't
question.
Devastating either ball player.
Well, it's funny. Right now, you listen to Yankee fans talk about this team right now, you'd think they were 5 games out. I mean, people have already counted them out of the playoffs and Alex said today, we're right where we want to be. And somebody said, well, how do you figure that? He said, if somebody had said to us in spring training, you have a 2-game lead on September 3rd, take it or leave it, we'd all take it.
Right.
It'll be a 2-0 to Keppinger. The pitch is hit on the ground toward the middle. Jeter fields behind second. Throws to first in time. On to third goes Zobrist. So he's at third with 2 men out. And that will bring up Francisco.
Well, and also, I spoke to Brian Cashman about that, and he had said, well, you know, it's not a 10-game lead, but it's still a lead.
Well, it's funny. When the Yankees had their 10-game lead, back then, people inside the clubhouse, and Cashman and Girardi were saying, we still expect this to be tough. We don't think this is going to be a joyride the rest of the way. I don't think they expected it was necessarily going to get to 2 by Labor Day, but they didn't expect to win this division by 20 games. These teams they're facing are still very good.
Now 2-8, and here is the right-hand hitting Francisco, takes low, blocked by Martin. Sabathia is at 76 pitches. The ball game is tied at 3. We're in the bottom of the 5th. And the runner at third, Ben Zobrist, with 2 outs. We're talking with Mark Feinsand of the Daily News.
And Mark, the last time that CC pitched, he talked about how disappointing it is to give back leads, and here he's done it again.
That'll be a 1-0 to Francisco. And there's a strike on the outside corner.
It's been a very odd year for CC. He's had a few very, very good performances. He's had a whole lot of pretty good, decent performances where he's held them in the game, gotten wins, and pitched deep, even though he hasn't held the opponent to 1 or 2 runs necessarily. And then he's had some bad ones in there. I think the 2 stints on the DL have thrown him off of his game a little bit. Remember, this is a guy who's used to taking the ball 33, 34 times a year and throwing 240 innings.
That'll be a 1-1. Zobrist leads off third, and the pitch is foul back. Did you hear that Grandison may play tomorrow?
Yeah, Joe actually hinted that it was possible that he could be available to him later today if he needed him in the late innings, but if not, he does expect him to be back in the lineup tomorrow. We also talked to Teixeira, who took BP on the field today, and said he still expects to be playing in Baltimore at some point during this weekend.
Also, Mark, I saw both Ivan Nova and Andy Pettit head to the field with a ball and a glove.
Yes, they were.
Here's the 1-2 to Francisco. Breaking ball foul back. So the count holds 1-2.
Girardi said he's hoping Pettit is going to face hitters on Wednesday for the first time. And Nova also is getting closer to throwing the hitters. So it looks like good news for both of them in terms of their potential returns. I'll be interested to see when Ivan Nova is ready. Does he get his spot back into rotation automatically, or is he going to have to, show them something in those bullpen sessions?
That'll be a 1-2 to Francisco. And the pitch, half swing and a slider. Did he go? No. First base umpire Tony Randazzo said no swing. Now the count 2-2. Susan and I were talking. Better serve, maybe Phelps and Hughes pitch out of the bullpen, and then you put Pettit and Nova in the rotation.
Now, the way Nova was pitching before he got hurt, I wouldn't put Nova back in the rotation over Hughes right now.
No.
But Phelps serves a great purpose in that bullpen, and Girardi's talked about it several times that without Phelps in that bullpen, it does limit some of the things he's able to do.
That'll be a 2-2. The pitch is fouled off. Well, no one's rumored that, the Hughes part. That was just me, because he's pitched so well out of the bullpen, and the Yankee bullpen in front of Robertson and Soriano needs some help. Phelps has pitched very well out of the bullpen, too.
I think if you have Derek Lowe / Adam Warren as your longmen, you can put Phelps into that sort of 2-inning Aceves Mendoza type of a role, and I think he would serve a great purpose in the bullpen in that sort of a situation.
Well, I think that's going to happen. I don't think there's any question about that. Here's the 2-2 to Francisco. Zobrist off third with 2-out pitch. Strike came out off speed. So Tampa gets a run. Could have been worse. They had second and third, no one out. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 left. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
And at the end of 5 innings of play, the game is tied at 3 on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep. Tri-State area Audi dealers. Visit your nearest Audi dealer now during the summer of Audi event. We're tied at 3. We hit the 6th. Shields, through 5, has thrown 80 pitches. I guess CC's thrown about the same. Now here's A-Rod to lead it off. He is 1-for-2 and scored a run. It'll be A-Rod, Chavez, Ibanez, righty, lefty, lefty against Shields, with the game tied at 3 in the top of the 6th. And the pitch to Alex. There was a strike in the count 0-1. Did we ever find out if Toronto celebrates Labor Day?
No.
If it's their Labor Day? Because they're playing in the afternoon, too.
I know. I don't think they do.
It'll be an 0-1. Pitch is low outside. They count 1-1.
Well, maybe they do. What do I know? If it's a Labor Day, it's Labour.
Right. Pitch is grounded to third, and the long throw is in time. Longoria fielded it just in front of the bag and made the off-balance throw perfectly. One away, and here's Chavez. So A-Rod is 1 for 3. One of my favorite stories, Mark Langston got traded from Seattle to Montreal. Seattle got 3 players back. One of them was a tall lefty. But anyway, the pitch is a strike. And Langston, was there a few weeks and told someone, he said, you won't believe it. It's like a foreign country.
He didn't do too well there, if I remember correctly, either.
The pitch outside. Chavez has walked in at a sac fly. Actually, his sac fly was a bullet liner that Jennings took a step in and then had to make a leaping catch. Cano scored. We're tied at 3. We're in the top of the 6th. 1 out and no one on. It'll be a 1-1 to Chavez. And the pitch caught on him. Missed on a high fastball. The count 1-2.
Randy Johnson, Brian Holman. There was a third guy.
Yep. I don't know who the third guy was, but those were 2 that I remember. There is the 1-2. Hit on the ground to second. And Roberts throws out Chavez 2-way. We take 10-second station ID on the New York Yankees radio network. John Sterling, Susan Waldman back at Tropicana in St. Pete. The game tied at 3. 2 outs, no one on. Top of the 6th. Ibanez swings, fouls it back. Raul has walked and then hit a triple to right center. It really was a line drive hit, and Francisco made a dive and missed it, and the ball went toward the wall. That helped the Yankees score both their second and third runs. The 0-1 is low. A-Rod scored on the triple, and then Ibanez scored when Martin hit a hot shot up the middle, ricocheting off Shields' leg wide of first. Martin beat the play at first, and A-Rod came home to score because, I'll tell you why in a sec. You tuned in late. The 1-1 is tapped weakly towards second. Ryan Roberts fields and throws in time. Oh, the ball was hit wide at first. Keppinger had to run to first if he wanted to get the play, and as he ran, Rodriguez ran home. So 1-2-3 go the Yanks at the end of 5.5, tied at 3. On the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep. We go to the 7th, all tied at 3. Russell Martin leads off for the Yanks, bottom third. Here is today's pitch count, brought to you by 5 Hour Energy, hours and hours of energy. Shields' first pitch. Martin grounds it foul off third. While CeCe, through 6 innings, has thrown 95 pitches, 57 for strikes. I mentioned he'll certainly start the bottom of the 7th, and the Yankees hope that he pitches through the 7th. And we'll see how the game goes. If they have the lead, it's Robertson and Soriano. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and drilled to deep right field. Back goes Francisco on the track at the wall. Has to play it off the wall, and Martin has to hold it first. A great job by Ben Francisco. The ball went over his head, but he made sure he didn't get too terribly close to the wall, and he played it off. And honestly, Martin could not have gone to second. He would have been a dead duck. So that's a big play by Francisco.
And that's the hardest ball he's hit in a while, and just gets a line single off it. Francisco, just a terrific outfielder, as we talked about before. He played this perfectly. And you have to know when to move back. You have to know how to judge it. Do you have a play, or do I move back? And he did it at exact right moment. Imagine
if he had been at second where he should be, then ostensibly you could score him on and out. But anyway, here's Ichiro. Leadoff hit by Martin. He's hit the ball hard a couple of times today, and Ichiro takes a strike. And the Rays begin their bullpen. That's Martin's second hit. Remember, he hit the ball hard off Shields' leg, and the first time he hit a hard ground ball to the right side, fielded by Ryan Roberts. Ichiro has struck out twice against Shields, and it'll be an 0-1. And the pitch is fouled back to the screen, and the count 0-2. Well, the Yankees would love to take the lead. I mean, first of all, they'd love to have the lead. Who wouldn't? Secondly, If they get the lead now, then they can go to Robertson and Soriano in the 8th and 9th, which gives them their best chance of winning. It'll be an 0-2 to Ichiro. A quick throw to first, and Martin is back. Martin stole the base. Now, they weren't playing it, but he still stole the base. He's 5 out of 5 in steals.
And that's the lefty hard-throwing Jake McGee in the bullpen.
That's one of them, Susan.
Yep.
If you looked up his numbers, they're pretty darn good. And that's true of most of the guys in their bullpen. Throw over. And Martin is back. Well, one thing, I don't think either of us mentioned it. Tampa Bay, we're doing all this about their pitching. Well, they have the number 1 pitching staff in ERA in the American League. And they have a nice gap
number 57, Jake McGee,
between themselves and Oakland. Yankees are right up there, but those are the top 2. It'll be an 0-2. Way high. Jimenez came up to make the grab, and the count 1-2.
Today's injury report brought to you by Advanced Radiation Centers of New York. When it comes to fighting cancer, precision is everything. Walking wounded, getting closer. Curtis Granderson should be back in the lineup tomorrow. Mark Teixeira sometime in Baltimore. Of course, Alex already back in the lineup.
It'll be a 1-2. Martin leads off first. And the pitch is high. Martin made a great bluff. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw him going. The pitch was up and away. It's a good thing he didn't go. And so the count 2-2.
You talk about that bullpen of Tampa Bay. Jake McGee is one of 3 lefties, and they're all very different. He throws really hard. Cesar Ramos does a little bit of everything, and J.P. Howell doesn't throw hard at all.
And I don't know about Ramos, but Howell and McGee have very good ERAs. It'll be a 2-2 to Ichiro. And the pitch high. So he's missed 3 straight times high with fastballs. Team ERA, Tampa at 3.26. Oakland at 3.41. And then Seattle and the Yankees have about the same ERA.
Well, Cesar Ramos's ERA is 2.10.
All 3 then. Well, let's see if Martin is going. I would send him. Well, let's see. It'll be a 3-2 with no one out. And there he goes. Pitch is cut on and foul tip. So Martin will have to come back, and Ichiro gets another swing. Ichiro, you figure he knows the runner is going. I mean, that's not a secret. You see, he gets signs from Robbie Thompson at third. You figure he's got to put the bat on the ball, because if he hits a ground ball with Martin going, he undoubtedly gets to second. I mean, it's possible a ground ball will be hit to the bag at second, but you got to try it, right? I mean, there's a gamble in everything you do. Anyway, you go on one, you go on them all. So Martin will be going 3-2, no one out in the 7th, tied at 3. Imagine if Ichiro gets a base hit, then Martin would be able to speed to third. Shields now dips into the set, about neck high. And here's the payoff. Swung on, a high pop to center field. Upton comes on, and he'll make the catch. Martin back to first, 1 away.
This game is brought to you by your Tri-State Ford dealer. Take on the high cost of gas and a fuel-efficient Ford Focus. Get to your Tri-State Ford dealer today.
Well, here's Chris Dickerson, who is 0-for-2. See, a ground ball by Ichiro with the runner going like that. Let's say he grounds the ball to short or grounds the ball to second. Well, the runner's at second and base, and you have 2 cracks at a base hit for a run. So Ichiro popped up. The New York State Smokers Quit Line. Go to nysmokefree.com or call 866-NY-QUITS for help quitting today. So here's Dickerson, but don't forget about the play that Francisco made. You know, no one will remember. That's a heck of a play because he kept a ball that hit the wall to a single. Martin leads, and Dickerson hits a ground ball to first. Robert steps on the back, throws to second for the tag, and that'll be the end of the inning. Nice double play, 3-6. 2 runs, 1 hit, and no one left. Now, at the end of 6.5 innings of play, tied at 3 on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep.
Got a piece of Martin's knee, right underneath where the knee pad is, the shin guard.
Now here's the 1-2. And the pitch is low. The count 2-2. David Robertson has joined Epley, so both righties in the bullpen.
Bullpen, number 38, Cody Epley, and number 30, David Robertson.
There'll be a 2-2 on Upton. And here is Sabathia's pitch. Hit hard and foul. Just off third. Chavez missed the diving try. And the third base umpire, Brian Gorman, said foul. So Upton just missed a double in the corner.
Pitch could change the game.
And the 2-2. Struck came out swinging. Ran the fastball away. Strikeout number 4 for CC. And that will bring up Ben Zobrist. Zobrist has struck out, flied out, and singled to left. He has 15 homers. He can hit it out. And Sabathia deals a fastball high in the count 1-0.
Zobrist really is not having a Zobrist kind of year. Didn't hit it all early in the season. Really started getting into it in August. Hit .330 in the month of August. Really picked it up.
Now 1-0 is bunted and fouled down the third baseline. He had a base hit. Chavez was back. In fact, I was going to comment that Chavez playing right on the line, trying to take away the double in a tight game here in the 7th. If you're wondering, I don't know what you hear through your radio wherever you are, but when the home team is up, between every pitch they play noise. It's to simulate kind of crowd involvement. And there's the 1-1, and that's foul down the right field line on a play. Now the count 1-2.
See, they started doing that when there was no one in the park. This place is pretty full. I don't know why they need to do it all the time. Assault your senses in between pitches. Hey, John, if they gave you $1 million, would you work here? You'd do that every night? 82 games a year? 81 games a year?
Well, I have 4 kids, yes. I got a cute story on that I just thought of. Very good, Susan. It'll be a 1-2 to Zobrist. The pitch is grounded foul. Here's the story. It's cute. Hank Bauer, after years in the big leagues, great player with the Yankees, and then a manager with Kansas City and Baltimore, and he took a minor league job, a manager of a AAA team.
Mm-hmm.
And friends said to him, Hank, you've been in the majors your whole life. Why are you taking a minor league job? And he said, my kids eat pretty good. The pitch, then on the ground a second. Cano fields and throws out Zobrist, and there are 2 away. And you know what? Larry Rothschild is going on. Now, Sabathia is about as veteran and experienced a big game pitcher as can be. And Rothschild is going out, and he has basically one message: how they want to pitch Longoria to keep him in the ballpark. Now, they're just going over how to pitch Longoria. There's no other reason for him to be out there.
And you really don't want to pitch around Longoria because Keppinger's hitting over .330, already has a hit and a run scored today. Keppinger's pretty good.
No, I think they just want to hold him in the ballpark. So here's Longoria, who's lined out, hit it hard, singled to center, and then grounded out. Now he's 1 for 3. And Sabathia deals high. It does show a little respect for Longoria, who's such a big game hitter. Also, you can't look at his numbers because he missed so long. It'll be a 1-0. And And Sabathia deals outside. Boy, if I didn't know it, I would think they're pitching around him because those two pitches were way outside.
Unless they figure Keppinger probably won't leave the park.
That's what they're figuring. Or maybe just missed with his first two pitches. And here is the 2-0. No, they're pitching around him. So that pitch was high outside, 3-0.
Well, I've always wondered this. What's the point of doing this? Why don't you just walk him?
Why don't you just... I guess they'd want him to swing at those three pitches that were way high and outside. So it'll be a 3-0. And the pitch is a strike. Now, how do you figure that? You figure... Another off-speed pitch.
You know, I get the feeling this is his last batter because Robertson is standing there. He's all warmed up. He's got the ball in his hand. Maybe that's what Rothschild was saying.
He's thrown 115 pitches. And here comes the 116th. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch to Longoria is hit on the ground hard, but right at Cano, who fields and throws to first to end the inning. So CC did his job. 7 innings of 3-run ball. 3 up and 3 down. Now at the end of 7 innings of play, we're tied at 3 on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep. And Shields 3-2. It's inside ball 4. What an at bat. Susan can attest to this. He has been a big game player since his first year in '96. In every playoff game. I mean, he's just a heck of a player.
That was a tremendous at-bat for Jeter. And you don't know, if nothing else, the 10-pitch at-bat that he just had just upped his pitch count to 110. He's going to be out of this game relatively shortly. But the more pitches the pitcher throws, the more likely he is to make the mistake. I know it's only a walk, but there's someone on first base now.
There is Swisher. He's 0 for 3 and has been unable to lay off a high fastball today. Now Jeter at first, and now the Yanks have Swisher, Cano, and A-Rod. And Shields deals. There is a strike. Well, today's Power Report, sponsored by Indian Point Energy Center, the region's most reliable source of electric power. Only home run today by B.J. Upton of Tampa. But we'll go to home runs because the Yankees lead the major leagues in home runs with 202. It'll be an 0-1. Swung on, pop foul back. So the Yanks have 202. Toronto has 174. Chicago 172. Baltimore 167. So the Yankees have about a 30 home run lead. And that is the Power Report for today, sponsored by Indian Point Energy Center. That'll be an 0-2 to Swisher. Jeter leads off first. Jeter was 0-2. Throw to first, and Jeter is back.
Attendance here at the Tropicana today, 28,585, which is very good for them. Must have something to do with the Yankees.
Might be. Yeah, they averaged 19, so they drew about 10,000 more than they normally would. That'll be an 0-2 to Swisher. And the pitch is in the dirt, blocked, and Jeter started to go and then comes back. A nice play by Jimenez, because basically he kept the ball in front of him, and Jeter wanted to go, but he knew it wasn't far enough.
Well, it bounced right in front of him. He turned his glove to try and block it that way, and then it rolled away from him. He is a very good defensive catcher. He was someplace else between here and Cleveland. That's where we first saw him.
Jeter inches away off first. And the 1-2. Hit on the ground to first. Keppinger goes to second. There's one on to first, double play. It's a 3-6-3 double play. And there are 2 outs and no one on.
Well, Swisher not had a very good afternoon today. That was a tremendous play by Keppinger, who plays all over the field. Very calmly got the ball to second, stayed at first to get the. Here comes Jim Hickey on the run to talk to Shields.
You know, that's the second 3-6 or 3-6-3 double play in the last 2 innings. Now, Hickey is talking to his pitcher and to most of the infield. They're probably talking about the same thing that Larry Rothschild talked to Sabathia about, how to keep this guy in the ballpark. Cano is a hitter. He has great numbers off Shields, and that includes a double that sparked the 3-run Yankee rally, all their runs in the 4th. So here is Cano with 2 outs and no one on. A-Rod on deck. Robertson is coming in, tie or not, because he's up in the bullpen. You got to go with your best in these games, obviously. So we're tied at 3, 2 outs in the 8th, and Shields deals. It's low in the count, 1-0. Now the pitch to Cano is grounded foul off first, and the count 1-1. If Robbie reaches, then A-Rod is on deck.
Yu Darvish is throwing a no-hitter right now against Kansas City. They're in the 6th. He just lost his perfect game. Johnny Giovatello drew a 2-out walk in the 6th. No-hitter still intact.
Cano taking his time out of the batter's box. Shields had 116 pitches. You would figure this is last inning. That'll be a 1-1. And the pitch cut on him. This is a breaking ball. And Cano swung over it. The count 1-2.
And after Darvish walked Giovatello, the next batter hit a single. That's the end of the perfect game and the no-hitter. 2 batters. Happens that way.
Now here's Shields' payoff pitch. Lined right to third. Oh, it dropped by Johnson. Picks it up and fires to first. And it's in time. Keppinger came off the bag to make the tag. A line drive dropped by Elliott Johnson. He fired on, and they got Cano. For the Yankees. And nothing across. Now the end of 7.5 innings of play. It's the Yankees 3, Tampa Bay 3 on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep. Well, David Robertson comes on in the bottom of the 8th in a 3-3 tie. CC goes 7 innings, 3 runs, 8 hits, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks. Now, the Yankees bring in Robertson, and I know what they hope. They hope to get a lead in the 9th and then bring in Soriano.
We just saw a replay of Robbie Cano's ground ball. Now, if Robbie Cano runs out of the box, he beats that out. He absolutely stopped and watched the ball. And then when he saw Johnson bobble it is when he really picked up speed.
So we go to the bottom of the 8th. We're tied at 3. Cano hit a line drive, and I guess he figured the inning was over. That tells you why you should run hard all the time, though. I was looking at the ball and not at Cano. And then Elliott Johnson fired to first, but wide. But Keppinger came off and made a nice tag. Keppinger plays first base okay. The pitch is high to Jeff Keppinger. He's 1 for 3, a right-handed, a line drive type hitter. I don't think Keppinger is thought of as a great second baseman or third baseman, but he does play first base well. And the other first baseman is hitting 188 with power, but the 1-0 hit on the ground. There's a base hit to left field. He could hit. So there's the go-ahead run at first with no one out. A hard single to left, his second hit of the game. And that will bring up Ben Francisco.
And that's what Keppinger does. And I know at the beginning of the season when they signed Keppinger and they're going to have a pinch runner, Rich Thompson is going to be pinch running for Keppinger. I started to say, Keppinger, when they signed him, everybody's saying, all the baseball writers, well, why would they do that? He has been their steadiest player. He has hit over 300 all year.
And I think they're going to bunt. And I'll tell you why. Not only is that the potential winning run, certainly the go-ahead run in the 8th, but now that Robertson is on, Sabathia's out of the game, they got a whole bench full of left-hand hitters, and they're all good hitters or power hitters. Now, I would say the Yankees ought to look bunt for Francisco. Boy, I'd almost like to bet he's going to bunt. So Thompson leads off first. And Robertson deals, and he's not bunting. Takes a fastball inside, 1-0. On the bench, they have Carlos Pena. I know he doesn't hit for average, but he certainly is a home run hitter. And Luke Scott and Matt Joyce. Those are 3 really good lefty hitters. They have other lefty hitters, but those are their 3 best. Throw to first, and Thompson is back. They got a guy with a great glove in Pena, and he will go to first, I would imagine anyway, in the 9th inning. And here comes the 1-0. Runner goes. Pitch out. Nothing going on. The throw is in time. A throw by Martin. So they pitched out. Madden comes out to argue. Thompson was ahead of the play. The throw was on the first base side, and the tag came on the feet of Thompson. And that turned out to be a great play for the Yankees.
Well, we'll take a look at it again. Hands go in. Whoa. The Yankees got a break there. Really good throw by Martin. But Yankees got a break. Thompson's in there.
Well, Jeter took the throw. Let's look at it. He tagged his leg, and his hand looked like it was on the base.
I think the left hand is in there, and Madden's still talking to him. He's not going to change it, but I think the left hand is in there before the tag is on the leg. And you can understand why a manager is so upset at it. These games are so important to everybody. Every pitch, every blown call, you can really understand it.
So that's why I said the throw worked out. The throw tailed. It was on the first base side of second. Madden's been thrown out, but that doesn't matter. He can manage from the hallway down the outside the clubhouse door. In fact, there is no door, just a walkway. Anyway, Davidson threw him out, and I understand why Madden is so hot. That would have given him a runner at second with no one out. Then you'd see the bunt for sure. Anyway, the throw was on the first base side. Jeter caught it. Thompson was sliding head first. Jeter tagged him on the lower part of the body, and his hand was really close to the bag. That's pretty close. So Madden leaves, and for the Yankees, what a big out. 1 out, no one on.
26th time.
By the way, can we congratulate Joe Girardi and Tony Pena and company? They called the pitch out. And there was nothing going on. Francisco couldn't reach it. And Martin fired to second, and they just nipped him. And it'll be a 2-0 to Francisco. And the pitch fouled back in the count 2-1.
Well, that's Tony Pena. That's his bailiwick there. And he has all kinds of charts on what pitch the guy at first base will run on. Guys that run on first or second pitches a lot. He's got a whole list of things. Does a very good job.
It'll be a 2-1. And the pitch high on the count 3-1. Well, a lot of times you'll pitch out on the first pitch. And they didn't go, and the Yankees didn't pitch out. But Tampa was ahead on the count, so you know what they figured. Now the Yankees wouldn't fall behind 2-0. Here's the 3-1. A high fly to right center. Dickerson cutting over, and Dickerson and Ichiro run together. and someone actually caught the ball. And it's Ichiro. How do you like that? Oh, excuse me, it's Dickerson. They banged together and went down on the ground. And Dickerson was the one who caught the ball over Ichiro. And there are two ways. That's pretty dangerous.
It looked like the arms got tangled up. It looked like Chris Dickerson said, I've got it. Whether Ichiro could hear him or not is another story.
No, there are two ways. Anyway, so think of the call. Tampa's figuring, well, they're not going to fall behind 2-0. And so they sent the runner, and he got nabbed. Wow.
Well, we just saw a third replay of that, which Bob Davidson doesn't have a chance to see.
Ryan Roberts takes a strike. And what did that show?
And that showed that Jeter got him on the rear before the hand got in.
Well, it was that bang bang.
It was that bang bang.
Oh, boy, it was a big play. Ryan Roberts, a right-hand hitter. He is 0-for-3. And the pitch is grounded in the hole as a base hit to left field. Ground ball single in the third base. So that's where Keppinger hit his ground ball. And there's a runner with 2 outs. Here is Chris Jimenez, the righty hitting catcher. I'm not sure why we're not seeing Lobaton. I'll give this to Joe Madden. He knows what he's doing. So, anyway, the cerebral part of the game, and that was a great call by Tony Pena for the runner to be nabbed on a 1-0 pitch. That's having the courage of your conviction. So Roberts, the go-ahead run at first with 2 out. Jimenez has singled, flied out, and walked. And Robertson deals a fastball outside 1-0. We're in the bottom of the 8th. We're tied at 3.
And the Rays say Longoria left the game for precautionary reasons after a travel day and that he's fine. He missed so much of the season with it. And that hamstring wasn't just pulled. That was torn. That was a bad one.
There's the 1-0. It's foul. First base side out of play. Count 1-1. That'll be a 1-1. First to throw to first base, and Roberts is back. You know, I only write down stolen bases for guys who will run. It doesn't matter if they're successful or not. If they're going to run, I'll write it down. Well, Roberts is 9 out of 12, and that's with Arizona and with Tampa. It'll be a 1-1, and there he goes. Pitch is taken, no throw. There's the go-ahead run at second with 2 out. The pitch was high. It'll be a 2-1. Now, any kind of a single will score Roberts.
And he was going while Robertson was in his windup. Robertson just said, my bad.
Well, Tampa Bay makes up for a lot of their hitting problems with the running game, and there's another example. Pitch is low, and the count 3-1. Well, there's a stolen base to put the runner in scoring position with 2 out. That'll be a 3-1 to the righty hitting catcher Jimenez. Now, Robertson set to go. Roberts off second. And Robertson deals. Hit on the ground to the right side. Cano can't get it. It's a base hit. Here comes the go-ahead run. Roberts scores. And Tampa takes a 4-3 lead.
See, that's Tampa. That's moving the runner, the thing that John has been talking about for months now. they built that run. They built that run, ABC ball, and then he just took that ball and just went to the opposite field with it. Didn't do it hard. Cano missed it, but it got through. You got to remember this is turf. It gets picked up. The speed gets picked up as it goes. This is why Tampa wins ball games, folks.
Not hit hard, but hit to the open area. And here's Elliott Johnson now batting lefty. And the pitch is a strike, half swing. So Tampa takes the lead. And that ever Tampa Bay baseball? A 2-out single, a stolen base, and then the weakest ground ball you've ever seen in your life to the open area for a base hit. And Tampa has a 4-3 lead. There's the 0-1. That's cut on him. Missed. The count 0-2.
And Fernando Rodney, their closer, is up. All-star closer.
Yeah, it'll be an 0-2. The pitch outside. The count 1-2. Robertson throws over to first. Well, that's an amazing run.
Yep.
And basically two guys who can't hit. Roberts hit 250 for Arizona, 220 for Tampa. Pitch. Cut on him. And Jimenez was hitting 200. That's something. That is how they win games, though. So a run, the lead run on 3 hits. And 1 left. Now, the end of 8 innings of play is 4-3 Tampa on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep. Remember, Granderson might pinch hit. So since Joe dropped that today, you can pick it up. Yanks get in a position. You might see Granderson. It'll be a 1-2 to Alex. He struck him out swinging, 1 away. Now 1 down. Here's Eric Chavez. 4-3 Tampa. We're in the top of the 9th with 1 out, no one on. And the pitch is lined right to third. Johnson fielded it and fired high, and it hit off the stands but banged back to Pena, so Chavez had to hold it first. Johnson again fumbled the line drive, just like he did on the last out of the 8th. It didn't roll more than a revolution away, and he picked it up, and in his haste, he fired to first. And the ball hit the stands. If it had gone in the stands, he'd be at second base, and that's just luck. I mean, that is really luck. So he could have fired the ball into row G, but hit the wall of the stands next to the Tampa dugout on the north side and banged back to Pena. So Chavez had to stay where he is. Eduardo Nunez goes in to run for Chavez, so that's an E5. It's really the same line drive. He's fumbled it twice. Once he threw okay. Keppinger made the tag coming off the bag. And this time the ball went way over his head and hit the seats. The pitch to Ibanez is low. And for the Yankees, a bad break that the ball didn't go over that little sidewall that can't be more than a couple of feet high. He goes in the crowd and he goes to second base. So there's the tying run at first. Ibanez, of course, is the go-ahead run. It'll be a 1-0 from Rodney. And there goes the runner. The pitch is taken. The throw to second base is not in time. So Nunez steals second. So now it doesn't matter that the ball didn't go in the crowd. So Nunez, who is a terrific base runner, steals second. And there's the tying run, and the Yanks have 2 cracks at it with Ibanez and Granderson. And Curtis is on deck. Nice to see Granderson back. sooner or later the Yankees are going to get healthy. Now, right now they need a base hit. They need a base hit from either Ibanez or Granderson. It'll be a 2-0 to Raul. Nunez, the tying run at second, and the pitch is swung on, hit on the ground at first. Pena will take it himself, and there are 2 away. So with 2 out, the runner, of course, Nunez, moves to third, and the Yanks have 1 crack at it. Now the tying run at third with 2 out. Martin was 2 for 3. Here's Granderson, and if you're worrying about the walk, I don't think so. Granderson been out for a few days. Ichiro is on deck. They may walk him inadvertently. Now Nunez, the tying run at third. You know, Rodney, of course, could bounce a splitter. That's possible. Here's Granderson, and the pitch is low outside, and Molina made a nice stop low and away, and the count 1-0. Tampa with a 4-3 lead. We're in the ninth with 2 outs. The tying run at third. An error, a stolen base, and a ground ball gets Nunez running for Chavez to third. There'll be a 1-0 to Granderson. Ichiro is the on-deck hitter. Fernando Rodney behind on the count 1-0. And the pitch is a breaking ball inside. And the count 2-0. Ichiro is 0 for 3. He's standing on deck. It'll be a 2-0 to Granderson. Granderson, ahead on the count, has got to look for a good pitch to hit. The 2-0. A breaking ball strike, and the count 2-1. I just looked up on the matchup. I'll tell you in a moment. It'll be a 2-1. And the pitch is strike on the outside corner. I think Granderson went. I don't think that was a strike. Now the count 2. I don't think that was a strike. I think they must have ruled that Granderson waved at it. I don't think he did, but I don't have a vote. So the count 2-2. They're discussing it at home plate. Granderson, Molina, and Todd Tichenor, the home plate umpire. No, the count 2-2. Nunez off third. He's the tying run. And the 2-2. Struck him out swinging. Ball game over. Tampa wins.
Time of game 3 hours, 1 minute. The winning pitcher is
Well, Tampa Bay takes the first of the 3-game series in typical Tampa fashion. They win it 4-3. For the Yanks, no runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 left. We'll get back with the totals in a moment. Tampa wins at 4-3. Totals coming up on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep. Well, back at Tropicana, Tampa Bay wins the first of the series 4-3. Yankees did not hit a home run today, so their season total remains at 202. Now, for every home run the Yankees hit this year, your local Hyundai dealers donate $100 to the Hope and Heroes Foundation. The season total stands at $20,200. Here are the totals. For the Yanks, 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors. They left 4. And for Tampa, 4 runs, 11 hits, 1 error. They left 8. David Robertson, the loser, he's 1-5. James Shields, the winner, he's 13-8. Fernando Rodney is 41st save. With the loss, the Yankees go to 76-58. And with the win, Tampa improves to 74-61. The attendance, 28,585. The time of the game, 3 hours and 1 minute. And once again, the final score, Tampa 4 and the Yankees 3. New York Yankees baseball is a production of WCBS News Radio 880 and the New York Yankees. Studio